What's up, everybody? It's your boy, student Dr. Malachi Wright, and I'm back at you all with yet another video. I know it's been a little bit of a while since I came out with another video, and that's because things have been super busy. I have some videos that I want to catch up on making, but a few things have happened. So number one, I actually proposed to my now fiance. It was maybe 2 weeks ago now that I'm making this video, so I do have some content that I want to show you guys about that. I try not to get too much into that side of my life a little bit, but this is definitely a big deal, so I want you all to be a part of that as well. Another thing is I started seeing my patients. So I haven't fully started clinic yet because currently I'm still on break. I've been on break for about a week now. This is going on the second week, but I will be seeing patients regularly starting in late July. So if you're in the DMV area, if you're interested in seeking any type of treatment, feel free to hit me up on Instagram or even comment here and let me know. We'll see if we can work something out. Thirdly, big news coming up, which is I will be attending this year's DarkCon conference. This is a conference for people who are of the Black culture, or people who are Black dentists who are contributing to the aspect of dentistry through mentorship, through innovation, or whatever else that may be associated with that. And I will be receiving an award at their scholarship banquet, as well as attending their conference this year. Shout out to Dr. Rose and Dr. Shante for making this happen. And yeah, I'm going to be showing you guys a little bit of film from that event when it occurs as well. But for the sake of this video, guys, I do want to focus on what it was like for me treating my first patient. And this is really interesting because my first patient actually had a rare genetic condition that I want to be talking a little bit about today. So you know how there's like times in dental school, and if you're a dental student and you're watching this, you're going through like your oral pathology class or your cell biology class, and you're learning about all these different conditions, whether it be like Addison's disease or Lou Gehrig's disease or other aspects of diseases, and you're like, okay, why do I need to know this? Like, I'm in dental school. Like, what do I need to know about these different conditions? That was definitely something that kind of went out of the window ever since my experience with my first patient, because now I understand, like, yeah, some of these things will come up and you will need to know them because they do have dental manifestations. So during my first patient case here, I was scheduled on call in the morning from 9 to around 12, and then in the evening I was in the urgent care clinic / the oral surgery department, and that was from 1 to 4. This case kind of let out a little bit later because I was literally the last person leaving the clinic because of the stuff that I had to do for this patient, but I ended up leaving at around 4:30. Anyway, the way this works is that when you get to the urgent care clinic, you sign in and they pretty much assign you a patient based off of when you sign in, the sequence behind when you signed in. And interestingly enough for me, I was like maybe the 4th or the 5th person there. But one of the doctors that was there when they were signing out patients, I was like literally standing right next to her. So she just literally handed me a patient chart and was like, this is your patient number, some of the history for this patient, go ahead and pick them up. So in the patient chart, there was nothing about the genetic condition that she later elucidated to me. But I did find out that she had some type of surgery previously in the past, and that her blood pressure was high. So I was like, okay, cool. This is not unusual for most patients. So I go out into the front, and I'm like, hey, Miss So-and-so. We went to go pick her up. I'm like, my name is student Dr. Malachi Wright. It's a pleasure to meet you, etc., etc. Now, mind you, they're trying to like ease us into the process of clinic. So they wanted us to be paired with one other D4 that's in the clinic right now. So shout out to my boy, Joe. He's actually my clinic big. He was down there. So he was like, hey, Malachi, I can come, I can work with you, help you out if you need some help. One thing I love about Joe is that he let me do everything by myself. If I had any additional questions, he definitely answered those questions for me, but I was basically just alone through this process. And I also had another assistant in there, Kennedy. Shout out to her. You guys saw Kennedy in my Stab Lab video. We're both in the same GP, so we do a lot of stuff together. She was looking for an assist, so I was like, hey, you can come and assist with me, and that worked out perfectly as well. But yeah, so we get there. I grab the patient, we go to the back, we start doing medical history, right? And she says a word, and I'm like, there's no way she just said this. She said neurofibromatosis. And the crazy thing is that I think it's like 1 in every 2,000 or so people who have this condition. So it's not that super rare. But when she said it, I was just like drawn back to one of the slides that Dr. Brooks, for those who know Dr. Brooks, I was drawn back to one of the slides that Dr. Brooks had on his lectures. And I was like, there's no way like this is actually like happening right now. I'm actually seeing a patient that has a genetic condition. So I did not remember much about it. I did know that it was a genetic condition, which I think it was like a dominant condition. And that's basically all I knew. Luckily for me, this patient was very organized. So she had a list of all her medications that she was on, and she was very old school. So she had it written down on like one of those yellow or orange sheets of paper. Like, you know what I'm talking about. You see one of those like old school types of paper. But she had all her medications and stuff written down. So I was able to go through all her med history and stuff like that, her history of surgeries and stuff like that. And then I took her to the room, took her to go get her x-ray done. We did a panoramic x-ray. The machine was working really efficiently, so that worked out really well. Came to the conclusion that she needed some teeth extracted. She came to get some specific teeth extracted. I won't go into too much of the details, because of HIPAA, but to make a long story short, she needed some teeth extracted, and I went to go get the surgeons to let them know and present to them this case. That's kind of the system of order in which things go. We take the x-rays, we get the medical history, we update the medical history, medications, stuff like that. We get the chief concern, and then we go and present to faculty. So when I went to go present to the faculty, I let them know. I said, hey, this is patient so-and-so. She's this age. Patient present. They're like, wait, what? Really? And that's when, I started getting asked all these questions. Like, do you know what that condition is? And do you know what's the number one like presentation for that condition? And what are some of the oral manifestations, stuff like that? So I'm like, oh my goodness, like I can answer some of these questions. So to make a long story short, this became like a really big deal on that floor because a lot of different faculty members started to come and talk to this patient because some of them have never seen a patient with this condition before. So the faculty members were like, this is your first patient? Like, that's actually pretty exciting that this is your first patient. And they posed the idea of this being some type of capstone patient for my big who was there because they have to start working on their capstones first, which, I'm not mad about. I probably won't be seeing this patient anytime soon because their treatment's obviously going to be handled by somebody who has a little bit more experience than me. But this was definitely a really great experience to like show me how important it is to actually know a lot of the pathology and the physiology that we learn in dental school and see how it translates over to clinic, especially when it comes to patient care. So it was great to see that I actually knew a few things about this condition. When I came home later on and I was, finishing up the note and all this other stuff, I was just thinking about, reviewing this condition as well, just to be prepared for any other future interactions I may have. But it just goes to show you that, some of this stuff does show up in your clinic. And even though it's really rare, it could be your first patient, it could be your last patient, it could be any patient. And our jobs as healthcare professionals are to provide care for patients. So yeah, this was definitely an interesting experience for me. I was not expecting to see a patient with somewhat of a rare genetic condition as my first patient, but obviously it didn't make the treatment harder than what it would be for anyone else. The patient did a really great job, was very conversational. We talked about 4th of July plans and stuff like that. So yeah, we had a really great conversation. And all that to say that I'm excited to be transitioning into this role as provider. It has been a lot of work just getting familiar with using the services like Axiom, getting into the workflow of things, making sure you dot all your I's and cross all your T's because, you're the person who the patient is going to be looking for as that quote unquote expert there. Even though they know that we're learning, there's still some level of expectation. And I understand that and I would expect that. So that's something that I'm happy to kind of fulfill into that role and go into that role and try to figure out, what aspect of representation I want to have for the patients who I'm treating. I do have some family members who will be coming in as well. Super excited to provide them with the dental care that they need. But yeah, with that being said, guys, I did want to tell you about this story about my first patient, which I thought was pretty unique. Best to believe that more stories and more examples like this will continue to progress and come as we continue through this journey. I cannot believe it's already third year already. It seemed like yesterday we were just getting ready to start dental school. Now we're seeing patients, guys. I lie to you not. The time is moving like that. And I'm super grateful for all the opportunities that I've been having so far. So with all the big events, all the big things that are coming up, big information, big news, I'm going to keep you guys in on the loop as much as I possibly can. And with that being said, I thank you all for making it this far in the YouTube video. If you have made it this far in this video, please be sure to leave a comment, like, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, as well as follow me on Instagram. And if you have any other comments, questions, or concerns, please feel free to let me know. Aside from that, though, my goal for the rest of this year, kind of leading towards December, is to get up to 1,000 subscribers. We're super close. We're in the 800 range right now, so we only need about maybe 200 more subscribers to get to that point. And I believe that we can get to that point. So a lot of it is going to fall on me with being as consistent as possible, but also you guys for sharing these videos to people who may be interested in dentistry or who may be interested in medicine in general. I want to be sure to start having more of an inclusive platform, showing people in other fields as well. So if anyone would be interested in this, please feel free to send them this video, send them other videos that I've made previously, and reach out to me if you have any questions about your application to dental school or medical school or law school, whatever the case may be. I am a professional academic consultant for not one but 2 companies, so I feel like I know a little bit of what I'm talking about when it comes to applying to these programs. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for your time and your energy. Hit that like button, it's free to do, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.